So, what's the real difference between a manager who just gets things done and a leader who actually inspires greatness? It's so much more than a title on a business card. It's really about a series of strategic choices and trade offs. In this explainer, we're going to break down some of the most influential leadership theories out there to help you navigate those very trade offs and hopefully become the kind of leader you really want to be. Okay, let's start with you right now. What kind of leader are you? I mean, are you more of a rules setter or an inspirer? And your answer, well, it's not just some personality quirk. It's really the foundation of your entire leadership philosophy. Do any of these sound familiar? Maybe you're the super structured rule setter or the charismatic inspirer who gets everyone fired up. Or maybe you're the supportive helper, always there for your team. Or the visionary, always thinking 5 steps ahead. Now, these are just labels, of course, but they're a great starting point for our conversation. But here's the thing, leadership is almost never that simple, is it? It's not about just picking one of these styles out of a hat and sticking with it forever. It's actually about dealing with this fundamental tension, this push and pull that sits right at the very heart of modern management. And this is it. We call it the leadership paradox, this constant battle between control and empowerment. I mean, think about it. Do you get the absolute best results by putting tight, structured processes in place, or by creating a culture of freedom and innovation and just letting people run with it? Just look at the two extremes. On one side, you've got a company like Amazon. Their management style is so data-driven, it's almost algorithmic. It's all about efficiency. Then, on the complete other side, you've got Google's famous 20% time, where they basically empower engineers to go and invent the future on company time. Now, both companies are wildly successful, so how on earth can two completely opposite approaches both work so well? Well, the answer lies in what we call the leader's toolkit. And listen, these aren't just some dusty old theories from a textbook. These are proven, battle-tested frameworks for navigating that exact paradox of control versus empowerment. So let's start with a real classic. This is transactional leadership. And really, it's all about the deal. It's a simple exchange. You do this, and you get that. The leader sets crystal clear goals, and the team gets rewarded or, faces consequences for hitting them. Think of sales commissions or performance bonuses. It's a fantastic way to create accountability and really drive those short-term results. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. A purely transactional approach can absolutely crush creativity. If your team is only focused on hitting this quarter's numbers, they're probably not going to be thinking about the next big, game-changing idea. It's kind of the difference between building a slightly better mousetrap and, inventing the iPhone. So now, let's swing that pendulum all the way to the other side with transformational leadership. This isn't about hitting targets. This is about changing the entire game. These leaders are the visionaries. They inspire their teams to rally around a shared mission and achieve things they never thought were possible. But there's a real danger here, too. That powerful charisma can sometimes just be a mask for narcissism. And that's a tough pill to swallow. It's why we have to judge these leaders by their actual long-term results, not just their inspiring speeches. Okay, now for something completely different. Let's totally flip the script with servant leadership. This approach turns the classic corporate pyramid completely upside down. Here, the leader's main job isn't to command and control, but to serve. They exist to empower their team, help them grow, and clear any roadblocks out of their way so they can succeed. And there's a really simple but powerful test for this style, and it comes straight from its founder, Robert Greenleaf. He just asks, are the people you're serving and leading actually growing as individuals? It's a question that really forces you to think beyond just the bottom line and consider the real human impact of your leadership. It's pretty profound. Okay, let's get a little more advanced for a second. There are other lenses we can use. Contingency theory basically says there's no single best style. It all depends on the situation. Then you have path goal theory, which is all about clarity. A leader's job is to make the path to success as clear and straightforward as possible. And finally, LMX theory reminds us that at the end of the day, leadership is personal. It's built on the unique, one-to-one relationships you have with every single person on your team. All right, that's a whole lot of theory. So how does this stuff actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look. We're going to dig into two absolute giants in the fashion world who are both at the top of their game, but who have taken completely, radically different paths when it comes to leadership. So on one side, you've got Lululemon. Their whole strategy is about building a lifestyle, a community around the brand. And they pull this off with a powerful mix of transformational and servant leadership. On the other side, you have Zara, the absolute masters of speed and operational efficiency. Their leadership is all about transactional, clear path to goal execution. We're talking two very different companies, two very different playbooks, and yet both are incredibly successful. Seriously, step inside a Lululemon store and you can just feel it. The whole culture is built around this big inspirational manifesto. They don't have store managers, they have educators. And there's a huge emphasis on personal and professional growth. It's this potent mix of transformational vision and servant leadership that basically turns employees into passionate brand evangelists. Now, let's jump over to Zara. Their fast fashion model is just a finely tuned, well-oiled machine. Store managers there are practically data analysts. Their primary job is to track sales, spot trends, and shoot that information back to headquarters in real time. It's a purely transactional path goal system, but for their business model, where speed is everything, it's unbelievably effective. A more transformational style would just slow the whole thing down. So, after all that, what's the bottom line? What can we really learn from all this theory and these real-world examples? As we start looking toward the future, what are the key things you need to take away from this? Okay, here are 3 principles to lock in. First, one size does not fit all. The best leaders are chameleons. They adapt their style to the situation. Second, context is king. You have to be able to accurately read the room, the project, and the people before you can lead effectively. And finally, and this might be the most important one, it all boils down to relationships. Trust and respect, that's the real currency of leadership. And that brings us to one final big idea. Because with the rise of AI, the whole landscape of leadership is about to change in a pretty dramatic way. So what's it going to take to be a successful leader in the years ahead? Well, here's a hypothesis for you. AI is going to take over all the boring parts of management. You know, tracking metrics, managing schedules, allocating resources, all that stuff is going to get automated. And that means the leaders who will be most valuable are the ones who can do what AI can't. Inspire creativity, build a real sense of purpose, and foster a truly resilient and human team culture. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. As the machines start to take over the control side of the leadership paradox, what uniquely human skills are you going to focus on developing to truly master the art of empowerment?